I no. I don't know. But I definitely don't. I don't know. I don't think INTP is the right type. I see. Well, I don't know how good ENTPs are at reading people, but he kind of seemed
We're really
more
good at it.
extroverted, and he seems more of like a reading of their external environment. Um,
Well, ENTPs
they're
are the reason that
getting
we're
it
called
for
sociopaths is because of how well we can read people because we have TERT FE.
yeah, and the fact that he's like always ahead of people, he's always got some sort of plan, and he knows what he's doing. Nobody else really knows. Like the ENTP thing, I've heard so many times that they say they're always 4 steps ahead of you or whatever. Or it's and like seems like maybe anticipating the next thing or your next. I don't know. I don't know. He seems like he'd be more like an NT than anything. I just don't know
How about this? I'm looking
what
at this right
exactly.
now. ISTJ. Hell
No.
no. Hell no. Hell no. He's an NT. We
Yeah.
can both agree with that. He is
Now
fucking NT.
the black guy, I guarantee you, was an ESTJ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because he was all like, "Man, why are you trying to look in all this shit?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do it by the book. This is how we're supposed to do it. I'm just trying to do my job. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Now you're trying to get me in all sorts of trouble, put me in a bad spot. So definitely like a law-abiding TE Dom
Oh yeah, I mean Jesus Christ, you know, become
ESTJ for
like
sure.
a high-ranking FBI agent or whatever without being a fucking an SJ at the very least.
Yeah. Now he could. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know about. He could be INTJ as well. I don't know. I'm not really sure what their temperament's like. Aside from me knowing my brother. My brother is a really suspicious person as well, but I don't know. I can't see him as being as rude as like as Cal's character in that show.
Some people think he has
But
Asperger's, which I don't see because it's totally different.
yeah, it's he does it for a
Asperger's is an
reason. It's not
yeah,
he does it intentionally. It's not because he's not aware. He's
yeah.
aware.
Asperger's is an inability to do those things, like
Yeah.
dickhead because you just feel like being a dickhead, or because you don't see the point in wasting time in being, FE conscious, if you want to call it that. Like that's totally different.
Mhm.
If you're Asperger's, you do it no matter what. You can't help it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, see what some people's process of typing people is kind of funny.
I mean,
I
they
would
make
have
a good
never
case for
I
this.
what?
They make a good case for the ISTJ, but I just don't agree.
Uh, with the fact that he works in protecting people. Oh,
They're
does he play some sort of guardian role because he's helping people or what?
No, they're talking about the functions. They're like SI. He's incredibly attentive to the details of his environment and micro expressions. He uses a system of immediate internal comparison to discern whether others are deceptive in their intentions
That
or
no
answers.
no. The first one could have very well be NI. NI is looking below the surface to know what certain things mean. So maybe SI would see something, but would they necessarily think, okay, what's below that or what's the why behind what I'm seeing?
Yeah, that's more how I think of it. Like, I don't think that's true. He's definitely not a goddamn censor, for Christ's sake. He invented an entirely new ology. Censors don't do that
Ology.
shit.
Yeah.
What micro expressions? That whole field of study, that is a brand new
I
sort of
would
field. There's no way a censor would do that.
I would love I would love to do something like that. Like that would be just so cool. But
Oh god, it'd be a field day. People ask me what my favorite job would be. I'd be like, anything. My dream job would be to walk into an office every day and be like a detective, just without oversight, like a private detective or something. Like somebody gives me a problem and they want me to solve their problem for them, and I don't have a boss. give me, and not even solve it, but like somebody would pay me to come up with solutions to a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's $2,000. You and your boys give me options of how we can solve a problem, and then I can just do whatever I want to make that happen. That would be a goddamn field day for me. That'd be a dream job.
Yeah. So why not do that?
I don't know. I came up with it like 2 days ago, so
Yeah.
I haven't really gone about incorporating that. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I went when I
solve
went to talk to
problems.
I went to talking to an attorney on Friday. She's fucking cool. Like, she's the best attorney I've come across. I'm like, man, like, I could being an attorney for somebody and like helping them get what they deserve, or whatever, that would just be a really fucking cool job. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be assertive enough for something like that. But
I'd
I
be
don't know,
too
every time
lazy.
I see all sorts of stuff. I'm like, oh, I could do that. Like the deception expert shit, and
Hmm.
then nursing and being a lawyer, or being not a politician, but like studying political science would be kind of cool, just to know, have like an
Yeah.
inside perspective, kind of,
Oh
of
yeah.
how it works.
I would love to be a lawyer. I would do great at litigation in the courtroom.
Mhm.
Terrible all the way up to them. Like the actual footwork and the and law school. Oh god, hell no. I'm way too lazy for that. I don't even think
Yeah.
it's like ENTP typical laziness. I think I'm just flat out too lazy.
No, I've heard other ENTP say, well, you have to know all the laws and everything in order to get where you would truly shine, like be able to put forth like your skills or whatever
Yeah,
with like
exactly. I
working the system and stuff.
mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm a fucking expert at working a system.
Mm.
I've been a troublemaker since the day I was born. Proud of it. I know how to bend rules, like the best of them. Probably better than the best of them.
Yeah. Did you get into trouble a lot when you were a kid, or were you so
All
good
the time.
all the time? No.
Really? It wasn't like a permanent state of trouble.
Just not enough to not disqualify you to get into the military.
Yeah, I always knew when to reel it in.
Yeah. Good.
I'm hoping that my kid doesn't turn out like me, because Jesus Christ, I was a handful.
And does she seem anything like you thus far?
Oh yeah.
But she doesn't seem more mild mannered, or she seems
No, she seems like a perfect mix of me and my fucking baby mama's worst traits.
worse traits?
Yep.
Oh gosh. Well, she is only 18 months, so she's still developing uh like a clear. Well, I don't know. I always feel like they have like a more defined personality when they get more like into closer to like 3, I guess, when they're like forming sentences and
Well, it's probably not fair. I mean, yeah, I don't know if she's like defined. I'll tell you what I do see with her. I definitely see my lightheartedness. She's a very happy baby. Always very happy. She's bratty. She gets that from her mom. But she's also very people pleasy. Like she wants to, like, if you say, "Can I get some lovin'?" is like how we say it. If you say, "Can I get some lovin'?" Um, she gives you a hug.
mm,
Like she'll come over. It doesn't matter. She'll come over and she'll like put her head on you or give you a hug or whatever. Like always. Um, he's extremely active and very, very curious. and very
Yeah.
smart. I don't know. I don't really have a good frame of reference for how intelligent she is, but just seems really intelligent for a baby.
Yeah.
She knows everybody's name, who they are. She knows what things are. Like if I point to something and I say its name once, I can come back to her in 3 hours and say, I can go, where is the X? And she'll go to it and tap it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I asked her, I pointed to the table, like just the table in my house, and I was like, table. I said it twice actually, I think. I was like, table, table. And then she was just looking at me, and then later on, like dinner time, I was like, where's the table? And she just walked over to the table and started tapping it.
Nice.
I don't know if that's like weirdly intelligent for an 18-month-old. It seems weirdly intelligent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
And like today, she was leaving with her grandpa to go to the store. And he said, hey, Harper, it's time to go. And she walks over to the car, starts tapping the door. He opens the door. She starts tapping her car seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like she already knew
Well trained child.
process. Yeah, I don't know.
My son still tries to fuck around as soon as he calls the car. Oh, I'm gonna go up to the front seat and I'm gonna try and fuck with everything up there. Or I'm gonna try and jump in the back. Like, can you just for once?
Yeah, she doesn't do that. She gets bratty about certain things, but she's not a rebel just for rebellion's sake, which is what I was.
Yeah, that's my son. My daughter though, she was a saint. One of her the first things she says was I love you. She would say.
I'm hoping that's what. Well, she knows shoe and shit. She says shit. It's hysterical. Anytime she drops something or falls over, or anybody else drops something or falls over, she'll just go, shit. And everyone else is like, that's not funny. I'm like, no, that's fucking hysterical. What are you talking about?
We used to have a dog that would bark all the time, and I would get upset and tell the dog to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And one day my daughter, when she was like maybe 2, probably not even 2, she was sitting there pretend playing, or like she was working or something, and then like the dog was barking, she'd go over to it and say, shut up!
There you go.
Shut up! I'm like, oh my god. That's hilarious, but at the same time, like, oh no.
Yeah, I always think that's funny. I don't know why people think it's not funny. That's fucking great.
Well, my daughter, she usually had like a really good filtering system for bad words. So I could cuss and say swear words, but she just innately knew that those were words you just don't say. Now, my son, however, was like, he really liked the word fuck. He would say fucking. Like one day we were walking down the street and he's like, look, there's a fucking squirrel. There's a fucking squirrel.
That's how I know, like, I don't know. I'm going to be a great dad. I am a great dad, but at the same time, like, I don't really care about cursing. That's just funny to me.
Yeah. I think it's kind of weird that we place so much
weight.
Yeah, with those words. I don't know. I think it's just silly.
I mean,
it's a form of expression. Like, why can't we use them? Why do they have to be bad?
I agree. I mean, it's how I feel about any slur. I've had argument after argument about slurs.
Slurs?
Yeah, like fucking fag or nigger or any of that.
Yeah.
Words only have as much meaning as you give them. So if you're going to sit there and get really fucking upset because I said, you know, somebody's a fag or that was faggy or something like that, that's you. That's not me.
Mm-hmm. See, yeah. It would be easier to sympathize or like agree with you if you were black or something and say like, yeah, I don't care if people say nigger. Like that doesn't affect me, you know?
Well, but, I think it's irrelevant, to be completely honest. It's like The only reason people care so much, the only reason that word has any meaning, even to black people, like the only reason people who are genuinely racist say that is because we've given it so much meaning.
Mm.
It had no meaning if everybody used it for any day kind of thing. If somebody said it like they would say my Negro, and it wouldn't have meaning and it wouldn't be racist, but it is because people put it on this special pedestal of, ooh, this one's really, really racist. Well, of course, actual racists are going to use it.
Yeah.
You've determined that that's the most racist thing you can say. It's a number of people on this planet that are genuinely racist, genuinely. Like, I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that I'm white, so I'm superior, or I'm black, so I'm superior. It's super small.
Mm-hmm.
It virtually doesn't exist. Like, in proportion to this to population, it's minuscule. But because everyone's so terrified of these words and being seen as racist or homophobic or any other ism, which is the death sentence in today's society, those words still have power, and therefore people who want to be the most offensive or cause the most uproar or they are genuinely racist, those are the words that they use. A lot of the time when people say nigger or faggot or whatever, they don't even say it with the original meaning. They say it because it's the most offensive thing they could think of on the spot.
Mm.
And the reason I say this is because I literally just saw a video. It's like a little article about a video game streamer who basically got fired from his professional team because he said that. He basically fucked up in the game, and then he went on a rant, was just like nigger, 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 like started saying it over and over. And that's what he said. He was like, I was really pissed, I was upset, and I basically said the most offensive thing that I could think of in the moment. That was it.
That was it.
It's generally speaking the worst thing you can say if you're not black. It's pretty much the worst thing you can say if you're not black.
Yeah,
and it's like the reason that it is the worst thing is because we make it the worst thing. Words only have as much power as you let them.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't care. I don't say it in general because I don't have a reason to say it. But between me and my friends, I say it all the time, and I don't care.
I kind of wonder what our society would be like if we never had knowledge of the fact that our ancestors were slave owners or slaves, you know? Like, there becomes that awkward time when you learn it in history class and you're like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, we're friends, but, like, I just learned that. Like, I guess I'm sorry. I don't really know.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I was best friends with my best friends when I was all in elementary school were two black kids.
Mm-hmm.
We were like brothers. Like, literally me and Corey, we were closer. We were born on the same day. Our mothers had the same name. We were both left-handed. Bizarre correlations, like similarities between us. And we were great friends for years until all of a sudden Black Lives Matter happened. And now me, who's been his best friend for about a decade, I'm all of a sudden racist. That's literally what he told me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he said to me.
How recently was that?
It was like 2 years ago, whenever that popped up. But yeah, he was basically like, I saw that he had a whole bunch of BLM shit going on and a whole bunch of basically anti-white shit. And I was like, the fuck, man? Like, what's going on? He basically laid it down for me. That's how he felt. And I was like, well, what about me, man? Like, we've been best friends. Your family's eating at my house for Christmas. Like, you can't tell me that I'm racist. And he was like, well, you're white, so you have a predisposition to racism. And I was like, okay, I'm done.
And he doesn't?
Not according to him, no.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so I basically cut all ties with him just because it was like, I'm not going to be friends with somebody who believes like that.
Yeah.
Tragedy, but it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. Like, what if he never was exposed to that kind of thing?
You guys would still be friends.
Yeah, we'd still be best bros, but...
Yeah. You know, I was also thinking the other day, or no, it was yesterday. This is not related to racism at all, but more so what they teach in school and stuff. And it seems like with like kid shows and stuff, they put a lot of emphasis on dinosaurs, and I just wonder why. Like, why do we want to store all these names of these different dinosaurs in our heads when they're not, like, most of them are extinct and they haven't been around for
Hmm.
so many years.
It's interesting. I never considered that actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be to
Like
push
this
the
is why
evolution
is this
motif.
yeah, I don't know. Like why is this the basis? One of the base things that children learn. Dinosaurs, I don't understand. But
Maybe because it's maybe for that reason. Maybe because you learn about dinosaurs when you're in like elementary school, and then it's pretty much never touched on again unless you become an archaeologist.
so why even learn about it anyways?
Yeah, I'm of course. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would ask a lot of things. There's a lot of shit you learn about that there's no reason to.
Mhm.
I get mad about a lot of shit though. I get real fired up.
About certain things that are taught or what?
All sorts of random issues. I get real fucking mad. Out of nowhere. It confuses people. I understand. My Tumblr now is shit posting and memes, as it should be. Used to
Mhm.
be, I used to debate a lot. I used to get in a lot of arguments. Then I slowly realized that you never really change anybody's mind.
Have you always been like that? Or
What?
was like well, like debating with people about things or did that
Typically, yes. But
yeah.
I had to grow up at some point and realize that the majority of people cannot be reasoned out of a position they were not reasoned into.
Mhm.
So me arguing with an ISTJ about ISTJ things will never work,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. And her parents are both. They're an. I think they're an ESTJ and an ESFJ.
Is
So they would
is
talk
she
about
pretty
things. Hmm?
I was just gonna ask if she's pretty straight laced or
Yes and no.
hmm.
She is. Used to be a pothead though.
Okay.
Um, but generally speaking, yes. But like her parents
Hmm.
would talk about things like I would try to talk to them about things like male circumcision would come up. And this is
Okay.
basically just an example of any number of topics I would bring up. And
Mhm.
I'd be like, it's fucked up for reasons XYZ, and here's my evidence, and here's my argument, and I've actually looked this shit up, and I've researched this, and I have a foundation of knowledge to draw upon in this particular subject. And they would basically come back with, well, I don't think so. And I'd be like, well, why not? And here's my refutal of that. And they'd be like, well, I don't really care. And I just don't think so, period. It was like arguing with a brick wall,
Hmm. Huh.
which is how they are. They don't care. It doesn't affect them. They don't care. They,
Interesting.
yeah, they don't research things. They don't look things up. What is good enough for them is what they've personally experienced, and that's the end of it. So if they haven't personally experienced it, they don't care. And they'll just say that. And give a
Yeah.
shit. After, of course, they can't argue with you.
They don't give a shit after they don't have a good argument.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, whatever. I don't care anyways. Like, this is
Oh
stupid. Why are we even
yeah.
talking
Oh
about this?
yeah. Exactly.
Like, you're fucking weird.
I've always been the tinfoil hat wearing crackpot, even though all my theories have been right so far.
Yeah. I think one of my first real good exposures to someone who was like super TI was when uh this guy okay, backstory. I had to go to a mental hospital. It was like a short
Oh
term
my
one.
god.
It was. I checked myself.
Get
So
away
for
from me!
for depression. Chill out. Stop judging me. But anyways, so most of the people I learned in there are either diagnosed bipolar or think they're bipolar. Stop sounding like a fucking dinosaur, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
I remember my first beer too, okay?
Bipolar and all that, right? Okay.
But this guy, okay, just went off about this huge conspiracy about like the money making ways of war and like just pieced everything together in what seemed like one breath. I was like, holy shit, like how do you remember all this stuff? Like I was blown away. I'm like, that is so cool that you've like, I don't know, dove into inspecting or like going through and looking
Right.
at things in that
They,
way. Like
they
most
had
people
all this
wouldn't
whole
care.
theory and everything.
Yeah, I went back and actually I was so impressed with what I heard, even though I don't even know if it was bullshit or not, but it seemed like a good theory to give consideration to. But you know, I tried
Seemed cool at
to.
the time.
No, I'm serious though. It really did seem legit, and it probably, I don't know, whatever. But I tried to recite it to my ex um, when I got out, and he just looked at me like I don't give a shit. God damn it! This is so disappointing.
I mean, I feel you, man, because it's exactly how I used to feel all the time. Like, how do you not care? I used to say this shit about Trump. I called Trump winning when he announced his goddamn presidency. Like, 2-3 months after he announced he was running, I said he was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I said it, and I was like, they're going to prop him up, and the Democrats are going to hope he wins and do what they can to make him win because he's going to be the easiest target because he's so bombastic. He's so in your face. He's a much easier, bigger target. Guarantee you, they're going to make sure he wins. And when he wins the nomination, then they're going to bring out the big guns. Then they're going to try and stomp him down, make Hillary this god and all this stuff. And I called all this, and then it happened. And people just kind of went. And I'm doing the fucking I told you so dance. And they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he wins, which I also called, and they did it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the whole time they were calling me a fucking crackpot, an idiot.
What's next? What's next, Ace?
Trump is a sellout. He is a complete sellout. Accelerationism is the new big thing. Get on it.
Could you briefly go over that? I'm not.
Accelerationism is essentially the belief and the hope that the current leader will perform and do things in such a way that it encourages and accelerates the current timeline of revolution.
Oh.
Basically, the way that Trump is going about his business is that he is rapidly going back on the promises and the campaign promises and policies that he advocated while he was running for office. And he's doing it so fast and doing it so blatantly that before too long, you're going to see a lot of people that were previously very, very pro-Trump be very, very anti-Trump. And this maelstrom of hate and controversy that he's generated, instead of having a base to fall back on because he, followed through with what he said he was going to do, is going to turn against him. And he's basically going to have everybody against him. And it's going to turn into a old school, it could possibly, let me put it this way, it could very possibly turn into an old school revolution. Like, grab your Gadsden flags and your Betsy Ross American flags and your fucking muskets and let's go, boys. Like, oh yeah.
You think that a civilized nation such as this would revert back to such a way to fight?
Why not? What does that
would
mean?
we?
Why not?
We're
we
much
are
more
the
civilized. We have different ways. We have better means to compromise. We have
Sure, and the American people are starting to learn one by one that those methods that are so supposedly so civilized and they're supposed to be our avenues of a redress of a government that is not representing our interests are not working. Our calls to Congress are not working. Our representatives are not representing us. Our government is not doing what we want them to do, which is their whole point. And the president that we elected, that was supposedly our last ditch effort to fight the establishment and to represent the actual people, is also turning his back on us slowly and one piece by piece. So every avenue that's been presented to the American people has turned their back on them. Reasonable people pushed into unreasonable circumstances turn into unreasonable people.
Now, what would be his reason for selling out? Why would he go back on his word?
There's a lot of possible answers to that. One would be it was all a lie. The most likely, in my opinion, it was simply all a calculated lie to get into office, to secure business for himself and his empire, to make sure that things went well simply in terms of the economy and what's good for him and his business. Another theory is that he did not realize exactly how deep deep state went and the cause of globalism went. And when he got into office, all of a sudden he was introduced to a whole bunch of people. Went, congratulations, now you're the president. If you don't do what we want, we're going to kill you and your entire family and destroy your empire and basically burn it to the ground. And that sounds outlandish and it sounds like the plot of a movie, but considering the things that have gone on and the American people basically went, whatever, I don't care, that's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, for crying out loud, the American people were blatantly told to their face that the DNC rigged the Democratic primaries against Bernie Sanders for Hillary. I mean, they were told that to their face. And they didn't care. They still voted for Hillary in massive droves. Like, at this point, the behind-the-scenes people are trying to figure out what they can't get away with. Because the average Joe Schmo just doesn't give a shit anymore. They're hopped up on one, Xanax or Percocet or one prescription pill or another. They get their McShit from the local fast food joint and they just do their 9 to 5 and they don't care because it doesn't affect them personally. So when everything goes sideways, which it's bound to do at some point, they're going to be shocked, flabbergasted, stunned. I can't believe this is what happened. Even though you've had dozens of people all over the place telling you it was going to happen.
You're saying a lot of people just don't care, then why would they care to participate in a revolution?
Because then it will. That's what I'm telling you. They haven't cared so far. They haven't cared so far. They will.
Right. The reason why I don't involve myself in politics is this, like, I can have all this knowledge about what's going on, but how I feel like it instills more fear or worry about the future than I can't control it. So, like, do I really want to seriously educate myself about what's going on, or
ignorance is bliss? My question would be, do you want to be ignorant and it's going to happen anyway?
Well, no, I don't. But how do you prepare for something like that? It's like, I don't know.
As best you can. That's what I've done. I'd rather prepare as best I can and do the best I can, and if the worst comes to pass, then at least I was as ready as I could possibly be. Then I'm going to pretend, I'm going to stick my fingers in my ears, close my eyes, and go, la, 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 la. And it's going to happen anyway. And now I'm shit out of luck.
don't think that's, I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I don't know. It would just be odd to see um, us revert back to that sort of uh, brutal war type way of dealing with things. But
In America, they're the people who basically started the trend. Anybody's going to do it, it would be us. There are people right now who are begging for it to happen. And the biggest, I would say, monkey wrench in anybody's plan, if there is one, would be the fact that we have such a free society and we have the most free access to things like body armor and firearms and ammo. It's like we are the only society of our kind in terms of, you know, I have body armor. I have it in my car right now.
hmm well, how do you feel about that? I mean, I mean, it's so that we're able to protect ourselves against the government overruling the people, right?
Correct. Correct.
So, I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's a good thing to do, or do you think that it gives people more of a mentality of like of acquiring things just in case and like having the mentality that some shit is going to go down, or maybe like it's like a self-fulfilling thing where they want to participate in some sort of revolution because like
I mean, I will tell
I
you
don't know.
this. I would say this. Government should always be in fear of their people, never the other way around. We've already fucked up. It's already way past what the founding fathers wanted.
Okay.
And in terms of body armor or firearms, I don't believe that any citizen should be denied anything that the federal government or the army has. Anything. Period. I don't care if fucking people are allowed. I want people to be allowed to have fucking tanks. I mean that.
Why?
Because because the government should not have anything that I'm not allowed to have access to. And before people start having a cow about that, how many people can afford a fucking tank? The price tag on the M1 Abrams tank is $18 million. Do you have $18 million?
In my back pocket, yes, I do.
Exactly. See, no, you don't. No,
Hmm.
very, very few people do, which is kind of my whole point. The only people that are going to have that kind of dosh on hand are going to be very, very rich people who are very, very public and very, very easy to keep a handle on. At least know what they're doing. If they're going to start a revolution, so to speak, you're going to have a lot of people like you, for example, that don't think they should have those things in the first place and that aren't going to support it, and it'll fall apart pretty quickly.
Like me, that don't think they should have a what?
A tank.
Oh.
Yeah, people seem to
Well,
think,
my
like, for
initial
example,
reaction was whoa, 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 but then I wasn't thinking how expensive it would be, but what I did think is like, well, you'll have you'd probably have to go through some sort of like licensing in order to even get one, along with paying for it as well. You're going to use it. And I'm sure that would probably be really fucking expensive too.
I agree. I don't think
To
people should have to do background checks and license or any of that anyway, but that's just me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm against anything like because the Second Amendment says that the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And an infringement is defined as anything that prevents a citizen's right or ability to do that, and that includes background checks and all these federal taxes and all that shit. Buying a gun
hmm
should be no more of a process than buying a fucking cooler or a tent or a fucking loaf of bread. Because the majority of
So,
people,
how does it go from the founding fathers um, wanting all these things for the people, to where it's more of a controlled I don't know, government over people, whatever. I mean, has it
Slowly.
changed significantly? Like, does it start with bad things happening and then the people being like, why did you let this happen?
Yeah,
And then the
basically.
government's like, whoa, 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 okay, we'll see what we can do. So we'll make this law or have this tax or, oh, we need money because you want this. Okay, well, okay. Like, is that how things happen? I don't know. I'm totally not educated.
No, that's pretty much how it goes. Tragedies happen, the government goes, we can make sure this never happens again. And people just believe him because people are stupid and lazy.
Right.
Pretty much it. People are stupid and lazy, and they do stupid and lazy things.
Mhm.
Like trust the government.
Yeah.
Which is what I try to tell people. Like, the government hates you. It doesn't give a fuck about you or what's good for you. Hold on. Hey, what's going on? Where's my wallet? Yes, ma'am. Hold on. I'm looking for my wallet. Oh, yes. Anyway, what was I saying? Something anti-government, I feel like.
Shit. Trying to remember. God damn it, I don't remember. Oh, how the government doesn't give a shit. Yeah,
Oh,
they don't.
yes. No, they don't. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about shit. But people think they do. I don't understand it.
Um, my mom is one of those people who is perfectly okay with the fact that the government could potentially be like invading privacy, which means, like tapping into mobile cameras and all that stuff. And like, she's like, yeah, anything to keep those terrorists, anything to keep those. I'm like, fuck no. I don't want to, like, I am not a criminal. I'm not doing anything bad, but I like my privacy and I don't want to feel like I have eyes on me all the fucking time. No, no one should have to live like that.
Yeah, I don't understand that
At least in
mindset.
their, at least in the privacy of their own home, public places, sure, whatever. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that, but
I mean, I will tell
or
you that the government has. It just comes back to historical precedent. It's like, at what point has the government ever decided to back off? Has there ever been a case where the government was like, "Oh no, I've seen enough. There's no need to go any farther." Like, no, of course not.
mm,
You want to fucking historical reference of how well the government runs things has the residents of Flint, Michigan, the last time they had clean water.
Flint, Michigan.
You not heard about this? Flint, Michigan? It's been like 2 years.
No, I'm like, I will tell you, I'm completely, uh, yeah, I'm out of the loop for sure.
Yeah, the residents of Flint, Michigan have not had clean water in about 2 years. Their water
Anyways,
has had a significant amount of lead poisoning in it for a hot minute, and the government has done nothing to help them, even now. It's basically taken volunteers from neighboring communities and towns to go there with cases of bottled water because the water that they're getting from the local system, the local river, has been poisoned, lead, because it was cheaper to do that than to switch to a new source of fresh water. There's your government.
That's too bad.
Mm-hmm. There's your government. Taking care of it.
Where, like, what news sources do you use when, like?
I don't have one in particular.
No. Okay.
I hear about something, I like to verify it through like 3 or 4 other places. Everything from far right to far left and everything in between.
Right.
I refuse to be one of those people that shares shit because it sounds infuriating and then come to find out it's from, The Onion. That's happened. Not to me,
Yeah.
but other people have shared shit from like The Onion, thinking it was serious.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of things are written or made in a way to like play on your like emotions and stuff. I don't know. I don't know how that affects like a thinker type, but as a feeler, you could read through something and then like be totally, if you're not careful or if you're not aware, you could be like, this is an outrage, and then you think about it, you're like, wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
damn it, they got me.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot. I'm like, ooh, nice outrage. Where'd you get this from? Oh, damn, BuzzFeed. Awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go eat, and I have to make a phone call. So I'll be back in a little
Perfect. I was just gonna say I was gonna leave too.
bit. Go fuck yourself then, asshole.
Fuck you. That's all I got, nigger. Okay, good talk. Bye.
Bye.
need this big